A massive failure breaks the trust of hundreds of University Hospital patients. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at the tank where their eggs and embryos were kept frozen and ultimately destroyed. After UH blamed a malfunctioning storage tank for that catastrophe, we tracked down the company that made the tank.
Custom Biogenic Systems says its tank worked just fine, and UH is the only one to blame here. So we sent News 5's Tara Molina to the company's headquarters in Bruce Township, Michigan, to get some answers.
Since releasing a letter to patients and cutting our interview with the head doctor of the department short last month, UH has been quiet. They've released no new details about the incident or their responsibility. So I took questions here to Michigan, where their equipment is manufactured, and got some answers that may explain their recent silence. Custom Biogenic Systems, headquartered in Bruce Township, Michigan, manufactures cryogenic equipment, cryosystems, freezer racks, and other tools for labs across the country and the world. Their name is on the storage tank in University Hospital's fertility clinic, the tank involved in what the hospital called a catastrophic failure. But according to the company, it was not their equipment that failed. They say it was human error. University Hospital's employees did not follow instructions. Custom Biogenic Systems staff will not go on camera with us at this time, but their information department released 3 pages of new details to me. Information further explaining the problems UH has admitted to. In this letter sent to patients, UH admitted they knew the tank needed preventative maintenance. UH admitted to filling the tank with liquid nitrogen manually. UH also admitted they did not even have that liquid nitrogen stocked, but were borrowing it from another lab. UH admitted they had a backup tank, yet hadn't transferred anything to it. And UH admitted the alarm, meant to alert employees to temperature swings, was turned off. But according to Custom Biogenic Systems, the manufacturer provided university hospitals with instructions for the maintenance needed on the tank. Quote, UH initially followed the instructions, but stopped that recommended practice at least several days before the incident, when there were no liquid nitrogen tanks available and UH staff started borrowing them from another lab. Quote, UH chose instead to use a container filling method to pour liquid nitrogen into the top. The last pour, the Friday before the weekend failure. But, quote, the tank is not designed to be filled by liquid nitrogen being poured into the top of the tank. The product manual stating, important, it is not recommended to attempt to manually fill. Quote, this is an incorrect fill method and will cause liquid nitrogen to come into contact with the stored samples. Also explaining, the unit does not and cannot measure liquid nitrogen that's poured in because, quote, liquid nitrogen should not be poured into the storage area of the tank. The company also says in its investigation, they determined when the temperature of the tank started to rise, the tank functioned properly, quote, indicating a high temperature condition and activating a local alarm. The alarm was turned off. And finally, the company reveals the extra tank referenced by UH was made available to them as early as August 15th of 2017, but UH didn't arrange for delivery until the end of October. It was delivered November 2nd. In the letter sent to patients, UH said they started the transfer process, but no eggs or embryos had been moved yet. They explained, quote, this process takes several weeks. But the hospital had that tank on hand nearly 4 months to the day of the failure. I'm waiting for my follow-up questions to be answered by the company. But in the meantime, I took this new information to University Hospital spokespeople and asked them to comment on this. I still haven't heard back from them tonight, but if I do, I'll include that in our web script. Reporting in Michigan, I'm Tara Molina, News 5.
Next.